We're live.
Would you kill the last descendant of Richard Warren?
What if they were old?
Now, what if they were Evan, and you were still at least 60% sure that he was the last descendant?
We'll answer all those questions and more on this episode of
Patricia Perfection.
Double PHQ's Widow's Bay podcast. Hey, everybody. My name's Bubba, and with me, as always, is someone who's lived off blubber for years. It's Catfish.
Bubba, Mr. Jacksonville, 1952.
Ouch. Guys, we're going to be breaking down the 9th episode, the penultimate episode of Widow's Bay Season 1, entitled Emergency Shelter. On this podcast, we'll visit a New England lighthouse. We're going to be ripping paintings off the wall. Plus, we're going to play a version of FMK, but the options are dead, lesbian, or, we really shouldn't say the R word.
Okay.
This was a very quick episode, short episode. Maybe we'll have a short podcast. What was your rating out of 10 for episode 9?
Well, I'm going to give episode 9 8 out of 10 of what we all know as double R's.
Double R?
Yeah, Rosemary.
What?
This was really a setup episode. It felt like part 1 of a 2-parter. It's sad we didn't get these two together rather than 6 and 7. But even though it was really only an incomplete episode, still lots of enjoyable stuff. Half of it was Rosemary's presentation. Love it, hate it, love it, and hate it. She had a lot of good singers in there. A lot. Bubba, what was your rating of this week's penultimate episode of Season 1? You know, Bubba, Patricia Perfection has been renewed for a second season. Thank you, everybody, for agitating for our renewal. Bubba, what was your rating for this week's episode?
Catfish, I'm only giving it 7 out of 10 double S's.
Double S's?
Yeah, well, double S, as you know, stands for senior slaughter.
Right.
Is Ruth Livingston? I don't think so.
Oof.
There is no way Ruth didn't have any kids. Let me remind you of a certain letter. Dear Evan, everybody has 2 mothers, a mother and a secret mother. She's got to have a kid. Mayor Tom made a deal with the entity. This felt like the first half of the season finale, and that it felt incomplete. So only 7 out of 10, but I am so excited for this great show and to visit that room in the cave with the chair next week. I can't wait.
Bubba, I'm just excited to see whether they decide to body Ruth, even though anyone watching this show knows, even though Ruth was a nice surprise, Ruth is a red herring, or is she a dead herring?
Guys, if you enjoy our silly talk, even when we're doing it low budget from a hotel room in London, next week, just next week, we're beginning House of the Dragon Season 3 at the start of July 2026. We're doing Season 3. Please subscribe on YouTube, on audio podcasts. We want you with us as we do these great podcasts. Now, let me say, because the schedule for our Widow's Bay podcast has been inconsistent, our buddies over at DVR Podcast Network, they're doing an awful lot of fun Widow's Bay coverage. That's our buddy Axel, Heath, Andy, and Joe. Go tune into them. Subscribe to both of us because it's going to be a while before we can get to Season 2. Now, Catfish.
Yeah, talk to me.
When Sarah Warren was rowing away and one of the kids, her kids, screams, "I can't see," which is exactly what Tom's wife said when she was pregnant. You know, hashtag uh-oh.
Yeah. Plus those kids, the boy looked like he was sort of deteriorating piece by piece. So that was definitely not good.
Hey, you know what? It was. But episode 9 did give us some answers. So, Catfish, what was your best scene of the episode or your favorite scare? And we always ask our Double L loyal listeners what their favorite scene or best scare was.
Right.
And we back on episode 8's best scene and scare. So why don't we hear from that before we give our answers for episode 9?
All right. Well, Ginger Sidon Sticker said it's impossible to choose a favorite moment or scene. However, Ginger goes on to say when Patricia's running from the boogeyman and says, "Again, Like all this just annoyance to deal with instead of the absolute terror of her life is hilarious. Similarly, when the gas station clerk grabs the fire extinguisher and she screams, "You're ruining it." Just unbelievable.
That was a great scene. Hey, listeners, we always ask, what was your favorite scare, your best scene from this episode? If you're in YouTube, go down in those comments and let us know. If you're listening on audio podcast, let's reach out to us on all social media channels at Double BHQ. Catfish, let's get to episode 9. Best scene, favorite moment, favorite scare. What do you got?
All right. Well, scares go. The scares were slow here. I'm gonna go. I'm just gonna still stick with something eerie rather than the star of the episode. I'm gonna say Weird Al, the shaman drug dealer, and I think it's 70% drug dealer, 30% shaman. Him getting wind spouted was I think the most typical scare we had, except for the ominous approach of the weather and the wind spout. What about you, Bubba?
Well, I'm not going with a scare because
Okay.
you're right. I didn't get scared in this episode. But my best and also worst moment is I was loving every moment of Rosemary's genealogy report while also pulling my hair out and saying, "Tell me who, tell me who." So for my best, but it also drove me crazy, Rosemary, I tip my cap to you.
Rosemary, so good. Yeah, let's just roll right into the Island MVP of the week and continue this conversation, Bubba. My MVP of the week was Rosemary. This presentation, she is dissing people left and right, just making snarky comments. Also, she's like, this presentation is going to be the way I want it to be, or it's not going to continue. Okay? That means smoking with no fan. I want no snarky comments. And also, listen, I'm going to be as non-PC as I want to be, all right? This is my moment to shine. So that was my Island MVP of the week, Bubba. Who was yours?
My Island MVP is somebody who really did the smartest thing in this episode. That's Ruth. She found out people might want to kill her. She stayed at home. She didn't go to the emergency shelter. Ruth, smart job. MVP.
Well, who knows? Maybe Ruth knows more than she's letting on, and she's at home mixing up some potions.
I hope.
All right, Bubba, we've got a new section. This show is called Patricia Perfection, but some people seem to have problems with Patricia. That is completely wrong. As long as you have your spinach, you should be able to handle all things Patricia. So M says Patricia only lied about the phone calls?
While no. Breezy K said, Patricia is amazing. I want only Patricia. I'm a bigger Patricia fan than you, Bubba.
That's not possible. Gayleen Fro says, with all respect for Patricia, you can't just tase people. I asked a friend who's an RCMP officer to tase me so I could see what it's like, and he said absolutely not, and explained the difference between non-lethal and less lethal. Now, Alyssa Potamus, we've got some people back and forth here in the comments, says it was technically a stun gun and not a taser. Tasers incapacitate the nervous system, and a stun gun causes pain in the targeted area. All right, so Gayleen, are you now okay with just being stunned?
Hey, we have Sayali on Blue Sky, who said Patricia has definitely become my favorite character as the show has progressed, especially after episode 4.
Oh, man. And Ella Feel the Pops, who's been giving us some great feedback, great behind-the-scenes information, great theories, just says today, Patricia is my spirit guide. Heart.
Hell, yeah. So, Catfish, let's get to it.
Yeah.
We all laughed, but Patricia didn't receive a phone call from the boogeyman, and she just stun gunned somebody. Is Patricia not perfection? What says you?
Patricia is perfection. Listen, you know what? We all had some tough times as a kid, but Patricia recovered enough well as an adult to take out the mean girl. I'm all in.
Catfish, I'm glad you said that because for me, there's question. I'm all in. Next subject. How dare you question my girl?
All right, the next thing is funniest bit of the week, and we've got some feedback from episode 9 from our loyal listener Cam Shea. Camille says episode 9 funniest moment, Tom and the lighthouse guy. That back and forth was great, but I'm going to have to disagree with you for that funniest moment. Before that, a couple listeners from episode 8, funniest moment. Alex Covo says, biggest laugh for me goes to Evan's mom's letter asking his little baby fingers to reach up her nose to pull out the scorpion out of her brain.
Ouch. Great sense of humor there. But Tom had said his funniest scene in episode 8 was the gas station scene when Patricia gave the attendant $20 and said, I need $3 worth of gas.
Well, that's not what she said. This must be a person who is never, like old people like us, used to go in and have to pay money. She said she needed $20 worth of gas on 3. On
I don't question it.
Station 3. All right, Bubba, here's what I've got for this week. These are all in order. Bubba, right off the top of the episode, Patricia's like, you got to pull that siren. He's like, no, it's just regular weather. And some old dude, I don't remember ever seeing before, standing at the door talking about 1793 and the whole thing. Tom gives a little sign. Patricia just walks over and slowly closes the door on the dude. Then we've got Tom not being able to tear up the wildlife calendar that for some reason in July has a car accident in it. Tom ripping the picture off the wall and then being crushed by it. Rosemary, once again, being an all-star. No, Kenny, you don't take it off of him. I'm going to continually push it on to Tom, making it worse.
Ouch.
Tom at the shelter trying to say, I've heard it's hitting Martha's Vineyard pretty bad. And Tom at the shelter saying, you'll be refunded for your accommodations. And then he gets a quick pass by the guy who has the worst hotel on the island who says, that money's already spent. Rosemary's slow burn genealogy lecture, where among the things she says is a family that swims together, drowns together. Bubba, what is your funniest bit of the week?
I am not PC. I say things that I shouldn't because I was raised in. So Rosemary saying those things did get a chuckle from me as opposed to a scolding. And I thought she shouldn't say them anymore, but her saying them made me laugh. So that's my big laugh of the week.
Well, plus they really stepped it up because they're like, can you not say lesbian anywhere more? And she's like, can I not say that anymore? And Patricia's like, well, it's the way you say it. She's like, all right, fine. So this next guy was an R word. I mean, she just steps it right up. That's got to be it for me. The closing of the door on the doomsayer, just a right nice bit. But Rosemary's, I don't know, comic monologue, stand-up bit, her genealogy stand-up bit was amazing.
Now, Catfish, we always talk about our freak of the week. Who you got?
Well, you know what? I'm going to take this in a different direction. I'm going to say who was the most freaked out this week. And this was Bashir, who is so freaked out about his child being born on the island that he wants to send his wife out on the ferry in this storm. And when the ferry doesn't show up, let me take one of these little baby boats that I'll have to refuel during the storm because it is too small to make it to the mainland by itself. And Wick reminds him, hey, this boat, all these boats that are here that people fish in, they were brought by a boat. These boats are not big enough to go to the mainland. So that's why he was my freak of the week. Who was your freak of the week, Bubba?
You know what? My freak of the week is the guy who complained to Mayor Tom. He should have known about his hotel money being spent. He should have known what a razor's edge Mayor Tom was on because he could have been in deep. Hey,
that is a good point. Now, Bubba, well, I don't know how this even came up because to me, there's an easy answer to this question, but there seems to be a debate. Is Evan the worst? And we got a lot of listeners who said, well, let's go through it. So Aaron Frey, I'm going to put people on my side and then the wrong side because I believe, Bubba, you know he's the worst now as well. Aaron Frey said, I love this episode. I was laughing and screaming the whole time. Evan is the absolute worst.
Where does that come from? Let's listen to a great listener who wrote, why the hate for Evan? He's a normal teenager stuck on a creepy boring island with a father who keeps lying to him. Most teenagers are tiny little a-holes for no reasons, just growing pains. I'm like Evan more with every episode. While Patricia is my MVP, Evan is my number 2. There you go, Kevin. There's somebody who's pro Evan.
All right, that's 1-1. Anna KM88 says, I'm on the Evan suck side. Yeah, but not in this episode. I think he acted quite reasonably because I expected him to be like, F Dad, I hate you. I don't want to see you again. and Ginger Seidensticker, who has given us a lot of stuff. So it's 2-1 on the right side. Ginger, oh no. Ginger says, I love Evan. I have 2 precocious teenagers, and I can only imagine how terrible they would be if they're stuck on an island their entire lives with nowhere to go and nothing to do, and all of the same faces. This whole episode was gold. I've watched it 4 times already and can't stop laughing. The score and the music for this show is impeccable.
Here we go, Catfish. Which side are you going to put Ash G on? Astro. Oh, no. Evan is so witty, and he seems like a genuinely good kid who's bored as hell and feels like he's being lied to. I can't blame him at all for acting the way he does.
All right, so that's another one against Evan. No, that's 4, Evan. 3-2. Okay, Joel Smith says, as for Evan, I'm not a big enough person to take back everything I've said, but I'll give credit where it's due. His reconciliation with Tom was a genuine highlight. And honestly, finding out your mom didn't actually die in childbirth and spending your whole life trapped on Small Island, that's brutal.
Well, okay, Catfish, let's give it. I was the big person banging the Evan suck drum, but I think for 2 episodes in a row, he did good. So what do you think? What are your thoughts on Evan? He went down to the emergency shelter without complaint.
Oh, wow. Well, let's give him the FIFA Peace Prize then.
Don't. He's not that bad.
All right, look. I just want to maintain my feelings about Evan because I know in my bones he's the last descendant.
Okay. Well, listeners, keep voting with your comments on the Evan debate. Pro Evan, fine with Evan, anti-Evan. If you're on YouTube, go give us those comments on social media at WPHQ. And if you dislike Evan, you can do a ice cold put down as we do our ice cold put down of the week. Catfish, there was one seemingly ice cold put down monologue that went on about 10 minutes. Do you have any other ice cold put downs this week?
And that was it. It was just Rosemary repeatedly off the top rope onto everybody. So good. Rosemary, all-star in this episode. All right, Bubba, now we've got to talk about, we've been asking all the time for crazy theories. They don't have to be crazy, but we love them if they're crazy. And Link Hogthrob says, what if the true sight mushroom spores are airborne and or in the water supply? Everyone on that island is high AF. And it says, isn't Wick's name odd, like Wiccan? This is sort of going off by a few episodes. I theorized that it was in the air and everyone was a little affected by it. Satori says, thanks, guys. This is the best Widow's Bay podcast. Great job. Yes, you're so right, Satori. This is the best one. Theory. Tom's wife survived through, though, a vegetable because she descended, and the island wanted her to live long enough to give birth to Evan.
Oh, wow. Wow, that would be crazy. And thank you for those comments on the Best Widow's Bay podcast. Tell us if this bare bones podcast we're doing for episode 9 is still good. What do you think?
All right, Debifier says, liked and hyped. You guys are the best triple C's.
Triple C's.
Coolest commentary channel. I predict that there are multiple living Warren descendants, and I hope they'll find a way to identify one another through true sight, and then band together to try to Do something about the curse. If we don't get a second season, I'll run through the streets and riot with a 1% taser in my shorts, t-shirt, and Ugg boots like my boo Patricia. Debifier, we have been saved this week with the announcement that we have been renewed for second season, and coincidentally, Widow's Bay has also been.
Catfish, because we had to delay our podcast, I'm here in this London hotel. It's 3 days until the final episode. Let's make a prediction that'll be proven either true or false in just 3 days. Will Mayor Tom kill Ruth? Yes or no? What do you think?
I say either not intentionally or I'd say Ruth is going to die, but I don't think Tom will be primarily responsible for it.
Okay, I like that. Is Ruth going to be strapped to that chair down in the cave as an island sacrifice? That's what I'm afraid Tom might do, and I hope that isn't true. Hey,
well, you know what? I think somebody, listen, we all know that she had a kid in secret, and so I think after she won her contest, she already got took down to that place, and that's where some magic happened in that chair.
Okay, I wish this was a podcast we could edit after that. But hey, going quick. Hey, hope you're having fun. Let's get to your feedback. We got feedback on episode 9. This one from our good buddy Gen X Cat Mom, who gave this episode 9.
Wait, let me guess. 9.5.
He did. That's right.
So she must have given it double R.
Right. Rosemary reads. That's what she said. 24-karat comedy gold. Pretty much every line of her muttering down the presentation is the best laugh. Ice cold was Patricia slowly closing the door in a random town.
So good.
Hey, Catfish, why don't you read this part? Because
okay. Gen X Cat Mom Stuff Catfish asked why I haven't given 10 of 10 yet for the show. She says, I was heavy-handed with Severance, giving 10s and 12s every week, deserved. So I'm trying to be more measured with the ratings, and 9.5 is still very high.
I agree. Thank you so much. Somebody whose rating was sadly closer to mine is a great double L loyal listener who gives us so much great feedback. It's Satan Claus, who gave episode 9 7.5 double Bs.
Double Bs?
Bloodline briefings, Catfish. Satan Claus says Rosemary stole the episode. Points off, though, because Evan was not the last living descendant, at least not revealed so far.
All right, and Ella Feel the Pop says, here's my feedback for episode 9. If Ruth dies, it will end Richard Warren's bloodline and end the pact between Richard and the Island Demon. It will not, however, end any of the subsequent pacts made between the as yet unknown number of townsfolk who have also made a pact with the Island Demon over the years. As those pacts are each discrete agreements and not interdependent on each other or Richard's original pact, this will therefore ensure the horrors persist into Series 2 and hopefully beyond. Beautiful, Ella.
100%. Catfish, do you want to read Pat Man's feedback, or do you want me to read it on episode 9?
On episode 9, Patman says, I don't think I've mentioned this, but I suspect that Patricia might unconsciously have magical powers.
Oh.
Besides the fact that the creepy Necronomicon-esque Your Turn book made magical things happen with her unknowing participation, it seemed most magical that the boogeyman was about to stab the prone Patricia when all of a sudden he was hit by an automobile, saving our island queen, as if she'd manifested this event. And that could also explain why the boogeyman didn't find her hiding under the bed back during his previous reign of terror. She unknowingly had some kind of magical protection that saved her.
Ooh.
Batman also says it was a cool reveal that Ruth was the last living descendant of Richard Warren. I wasn't expecting that. The show had made a big deal about Ruth, but of course she's been all throughout the show. And just the fact that she's a kind, elderly woman who needs accommodations getting back and forth from work immediately garners sympathy for her when Tom is faced with the plan of action that Wick is endorsing. And he also says, we don't know if Tom, in his drug-addled state, had made some deal with the island entity.
All right, let me read you this feedback from VGM. VGM said, are you guys actually going to rename the entire channel the Patricia Perfection Podcast? nice ring to it. VGM wrote, I asked AI a question and it called your podcast the Patricia Perfection Podcast as well. I subscribed, liked, hyped, and comment. Thank you so much. We have somebody whose handle is elaborate, Ruth, who wrote, hey, I'm commenting for the algorithm. I'm just also a fan of your Let's Solve series. Oh, thank you. We got Only Murders in the Building and Marble Hall Murders coming up in that format in a bit. Prax said, hey, Catfish, this is one you may have to answer, but let me read it to you. Prax says,
Okay.
I generally / usually love shows like Widow's Bay, but is it really just me? But I can't get into this one. Praxius has watched 5 episodes and he considers it boring.
Oh
I
no.
something scary or exciting to happen or interesting to happen. Is it just me? Praxius, if you can get to episode 8, to me, there have been great episodes, but episode 8, dunked on it. So what do you think? Is Praxius, maybe this show just isn't for everybody.
It's definitely not for everybody, even for people who are into these kind of shows.
Okay.
It just happens. Sometimes someone says to you, I've got a great show for you knowing what you like, and you just don't get into it. It's okay to be wrong, Praxis.
Hey, keep writing us, Praxis. Episode 8, we got a bit of feedback. Our buddy Paul said episode 8 was great. Patricia was excellent. ETS 638 said, yikes. Tom and Evan will have to shelter due to the storm. What will they find? Probably something tying, everybody thinks, Catfish, is just tying Evan to Richard Warren.
Mm-hmm.
Wholeheartedly agree that Wick was going to make a move and confess to his high school sweetheart, Jerry, until the husband showed up. Catfish, what do you think about this? We didn't talk about it much last week because we were celebrating Patricia so much, but did Wick lose his chance at love because Jerry's married? What do you think? Is Wick ever in love?
I don't know. That guy seems like a kind of a loser. So I think I think Wick can get Jerry to. Jerry's got a little spark on our eye for Wick. I think he can. I think he can get it on his side.
Christopher we've asked him to go back and keep looking for the brooch. Christopher wrote he's doing his rewatch in Brooch Watch, but he hasn't found something yet. Christopher wrote, I'm not the biggest horror watcher, but my assumption is in the sequels, the killer always returns for the final girl, and that's why the possibly perfect Patricia attacking her made sense.
Yeah.
We also really found the scene of Wick and Jerry heartbreaking. We have learned how much Wick still loves her. He's trying to just repair the rift he created. But Jerry's husband, ice cold. Well, Catfish.
Yeah.
That's it. Next episode is episode 10. We hoped you enjoyed your time. It's going to be the longest episode, Catfish.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
I mean, I'm personally hoping that everyone enjoyed their time if they watch this podcast on YouTube featuring Catfish, Bubba, and Bubba's fingers. So
that sounds dirty.
Anybody who's watching on YouTube knows exactly what I mean. Bubba, I'm super excited. We'll see what's going to happen on the finale. So you'll hear us next time on Patricia Perfection.
Okay, now you can stop recording.
Thank God.